Carolina playing Florida. Dallas hosting Edmonton. The semifinals or conference finals are set. How do we make money? That's all I care about. Matthew Barnaby, myself, and Andy Lang will figure that out. Matthew, I know you had a 3-day poker binge. How did it go, my friend?
Yeah, it went well. Made a little bit of money, had some fun, great time. Uh, and then I don't take pleasure in seeing people hurt, but I know you're hurting today, buddy. I know you're hurting, and I feel horrible. But we won all four bets, three prop bets yesterday. Win. Uh, we always complain about our losses or our bad beats. I'm going to thank the hockey gods and Craig Berube for putting Joseph Wall in after they scored the empty net goal for an extra couple shots that took his save total
Right.
over. So that was really important. Uh, hey, we went shots on goal. Verhage, Ekblad. I'm listening to my man over there. He's been on fire. So we got those, and it was just easy money yesterday. Easy money.
Yeah, well, Matt, listen, I appreciate you worrying about me hurting. I'm not hurting. This is the same old shit, just a different year. And I'm at the point where while it's happening, it's painful.
Yeah.
When it's over, it's like, okay, well, I guess we can get on with our lives. I don't need to figure out what I'm doing on Tuesday night. I don't need to cancel my birthday dinner with my parents on Thursday.
It really is when you watch a game like game 5 and game 7. Listen, they played really well in game 6. Joseph Wall made some key saves early. Florida had 25 shot attempts
I
to
don't,
0.
dude, they couldn't even get in the Florida end. There
I
were no passing. It was one of, if not, and I said this to some of my friends, I think it was the single worst Leaf performance since this core was put
yeah,
together. The single worst. And
I
I'm
don't know. I don't know how you come out like that in a game 7. As a former player and have played in game 7s, I don't get it at home. It makes no sense. Now, I think when you look at the game and you reflect as Berube will, as Tree Living will, as the players do, two totally different teams and mindsets. And listen, Florida didn't make the mistakes that Toronto did.
yeah,
Look
but
at the third goal, John Tavares turning that puck over. They
how
come back
about
the other way.
Morgan Riley making that stupid pinch on the first goal?
You just don't see Florida do that, and if they do, it's a 1 out. But
Yeah.
this is you have to look in recapping the year and looking at the Leafs and failing, and then we're going to get on to betting on how to make money. But you you look at Florida, you look at their physicality and how they play, and Bobrovsky. I'm going to give Bobrovsky some kudos because he made 4 or 5 saves after that first 10 minutes of play that were
Yep.
really big for the Florida Panthers. And you need your goaltenders to make stops like that. He has to on a lot of nights be your best player to give you a
Yep.
chance. But if you look at the Leafs, you look at Florida, and then you look at Dallas in the other conference, they just aren't they aren't that kind of team. They don't have that DNA. They don't to win 4 games or 4 rounds in the Stanley Cup Finals, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Man, it takes a lot. It takes a mindset,
And
and the Leafs just
yeah,
don't have it. They just don't
they
have it.
don't. And I think it starts at the top with Austin Matthews. You watch him on the bench, and it looks like he's one of those droolers,
Well,
Uh, uh,
that's his demeanor. Just as chill. I'm chill.
yeah, well, I don't want chill. At
Neither
least
do
with
I.
at least with Marner, he's pissed off, and ultimately, I think Marner will go, and I'm okay with that.
He,
Uh,
he
and
he's
and
gone.
we're- and
He's
we're
gone.
keeping the wrong guy.
He's gone. You'll
Um,
sign Nice to a long term deal if he doesn't get offer sheeted by
you
someone.
know who Tree's gonna go after, and then we'll get into some actual betting information. Tree's gonna go after Ekblad, Reinhardt, and Marchand, all Florida guys, and all the type of people Tree wants to build this team around. Uh, that's who he's going to go after. And I hope he gets one of them. Bennett. I mean, not Reinhardt. Bennett.
Yeah.
Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad.
Are you leaving Florida to go to Toronto unless it's way more money, and it has to be way more money because of the tax situation? No chance. No chance.
No. Anyway, listen.
Let's make some money. Let's make some cash.
Florida got it done. Good for them. I'm okay with it, Matthew. Let's get into some betting info. Guys, if you like the show, hit the like button. Give us some love. Write some comments. Write some reviews. We're going to be doing the show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll have a live show again. Hopefully at 11 a.m., Matt. We'll talk about that later on during the week. But listen, the lines are out. Let's get into it. Tuesday's game, strangely, Tuesday's game features Florida, and Wednesday's game features the two teams that had more rest. But it is what it is, and Carolina has to be happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
They're playing Florida. They are minus 125 at home. The total is 5.5. And Matthew, is this one of those spots where Game 7, you want to bet against a team who wins Game 7, playing a team who is well rested? That's the situation we have here. Florida already showed us that they weren't ready in Game 1 of the Leaf series. If Carolina has a shot at the series, and we'll talk about that after, we can talk about that now as well. I mean, to win Carolina's plus 320 to win the Cup. And to win the series, Carolina is plus 110. The bottom line is they got to win this game. It's a crucial game to win, and I actually do think they're going to get it done. I think minus 125 is a good price right here, and I think Carolina is the right bet. And I also like the under in this game, and I will be looking to take the under across the board from here all the way through to the end of the series. So under on every game as of now, but that changes. Carolina tonight. And I don't know if I have a series bet here for you, Matt. I mean, I'm figuring a Stanley Cup champ at minus 130 feels about right to me. Where are you going?
Yeah, that's the number where it should be. I'm probably not going to bet the series. I think Florida is the better team. If this was starting on, say, Thursday, I'd be going with the Panthers. But listen, this is a tough series. They hit a lot, very physical. They literally packed all their clothes and stuff for the road, and they go right there. Like they start playing right away. Like literally, 24 hours later, they're going to be, physically tired. Just remember how many injuries they're probably dealing with. And then no time in between. You got Carolina, that's a fast team. Freddie Anderson has played very, very well for them. Now, Freddie's been known to leak a little bit as we go through. So, look for that as we go through for the series. I like Carolina in this game. I like the under in this game, and I'm with you. There's going to be a lot of unders in this series, but I like Carolina Game 1. I think they know they have to, like you said, win Game 1. I think they get it done.
Matthew, where do you think the line's going to be on game time? To me, should we be betting Carolina now or And I think you're right. I think
because the average bettor waits till 10 minutes before game time, and most people are going to be betting on Carolina for the same reasons that we. Now, you might get some late money if that line moves on Florida, but I see this one at least 135.
Yeah, I was going to say slightly over 130 is where it will end. And Carolina is also minus 1.5 plus 200. And guys, to me, if you're going to bet 3% on Carolina on the money line, for instance, using 3 as the number, I would look to put one of those 3 on that plus 200. If there is a game that is won by margin, it will be the first one. Carolina's already been winning by margin in most of the games they're playing so far. And of course, you have that empty net opportunity as well. So there we go. And neither Matthew and I really have a series bet, but I will tell you this, guys. We both think Carolina is going to win, and Florida is minus 130 in the series. I would not take Florida in the series until after game 1, where it comes back down and we get that plus 120 on the other side. So no reason to jump on Florida now to bet to win the series, especially if you think Carolina's going to win that first game. You're watching the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. Matthew, Edmonton and Dallas, and there we have two home teams, Carolina and Dallas, both dogs to win the series. Dallas not really a dog; it's plus 100, but Edmonton is favored at minus 120, and Edmonton is plus 105 to win Game 1, and the total here is 6. I believe that it will be 6.5 at game time, and I am sitting here thinking to myself, I might want to watch this game without a bet on the side and see who is going to dictate pace and how Dallas is going to bottle up the speed on the Oilers. We saw with Vegas, they just could not handle this team. And although Dallas is much better than Vegas, Dallas is still a team that's old. And still a team that might struggle with the speed. With that said, they've been here before and they've played this team before. I feel like this is a watch and see game, Matt.
I'm the opposite. I'm all over Dallas. Everton played great in that series as it went along, and speed was very prevalent against a slower Vegas team. Everton is getting more physical though as this playoffs has went through. I've
Yes.
found much more physical parts to their game, so I really like that. Dallas, I think they are older team. You have your Jamie Benns and your Tyler Seguins, but they also have a lot of young guys that
Yeah.
can fly as well, and they play with a heavy pace, a fast pace, but also a heavy game as well. Jake Ottinger is the best goalie in this series. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And I just like the Dallas Stars. Listen, you knock out the two teams that they have, and I thought right from the start it was Dallas or Colorado. I had Colorado winning that series, but as soon as Dallas beat them, I said, okay, Dallas is the best team left in the playoffs. So I don't mind laying a little juice here for the game and for the series.
Yeah, and Matthew, I understand. Like I understand what you're saying. This Dallas team is exceptional. I'm just worried that they went from playing a Winnipeg team, which plays a completely different style
Absolutely.
than playing an Edmonton team. And it feels to me like it might take a game, for them to find that adjustment.
And Draisaitl hasn't really even played his
Right.
best hockey yet, but when 97 gets the puck, it literally, like, he's the only guy that could pick up the puck on his own goal line, and you're like, here comes a scoring chance.
Do you know what?
That's
Do you know what number? Do you know what number I've worn on the back of my jersey for 20 years?
not 97?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Why?
And because so I was in my I was around 35 or so when I changed numbers to 97. I spent a year working out how often I'm right, and it worked out to be 97% of the time.
I'm sure if we have video, we'd get confused who was McDavid and who was Prez.
No. I didn't take McDavid's number. I've been 97 for 20 years.
No, I said we'd be very dumbfounded to know which one's you and which one's McDavid.
Sure. Connor's dad worked for Spin Master, my brother's company.
I did not.
Yeah, he worked there for 10 years or so, and they all tell a story how he would come into work and he'd be like, "Oh my God, you should see my 4-year-old. He's going to make the NHL." And everyone would be like, "Yeah, sure, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard that before."
Not only was that true, he could go down as the best ever.
Yeah, and he was saying this, Matt, Connor was 4, and he was like, "My kid's going to make."
I watched him in summer hockey tournament when he was 12, and I was like, "This guy's different." Like, that's how good he was.
Yeah. Well, long story short, he no longer works at my brother's company. So you know what? Let's talk about that after. Let's bring Andy in, and then we're going to talk about who's going to win the cup. Andy Lang joining us, host of WagerTalk today. You guys can hear that at noon Eastern every single day. Andy, give us a quick rundown on how that show works, and then let's hear some bets for the conference finals.
We got some analytics in, and turns out people really like when we talk about betting strategies, not necessarily the free picks. So audience has spoken, and we're going to talk more about building bankrolls. My particular bankroll, we're going to talk with Gianni. We're talking with Crackman, guys that do this for a living every day. So we're going to talk a lot more about that. We always are going to have the free picks. It's baseball season, so a lot of good baseball info. Really happy with how the show's going. So that's 12 o'clock noon Eastern every single day. I have a prop I want to ask Matt about. I've been writing this Jason Robertson to not have a point, and he had 1 point in 6 games against Winnipeg, but he had 4 goals and 2 assists in 3 games against Edmonton in the regular season, and I'm just staring at this under 3.5 points in the series. Is he hurt? Matt, he doesn't look right. He doesn't look like the regular season Jason Robertson.
Yeah, he's obviously he is hurt, but it's not the same guy that we saw. I'd be very, very careful on that one because he just doesn't look the same. Now, maybe the extra rest is going to do him well, and he's healthier now. But you bring up a valid point because there's just teams you feel great against, and the confidence, right? Everyone, I don't care what it is, what sport, what level, people, when you have success doing something against someone, you just organically feel better. So those are great things. I love playing certain teams. I love playing Montreal. Love playing Ottawa teams. I just felt comfortable with. And you play New Jersey. You went in there. You just didn't feel as good. So he has to be hurt because he doesn't look the same. But maybe this extra rest did him well. But those are great stats and analytics for people. That's you're giving people what they wouldn't research themselves.
Yeah, I'm going to lay off.
Andy, I want to make a comment on that. Firstly, we know he's hurt because he was out for most of the playoffs. So that's number one. But number two, I think you got to be careful with that bet. 3.5 points. And to me, it's got to be correlated to the totals in the 7 games. And also the line. The bottom line is it's plus, basically the teams are even to win. So they're thinking 7 games and the total is 6. So they're thinking high scoring. You've got 7 games of 6 goals, give or take. That's 7 times 6. I think that equals 83. And that's how many, and to multiply that by 3 points is 83 times 3. It's 400. So you're 400 points. Yeah. 400 points available. Is he going to get 3.5 of them? 3.5 percentage of 400. That's 22%. And that's math for you. Math 101 by the Prez. But that's what I'm saying, Andy. It's the line makers are saying there's too many games and the total is too high. There was going to be opportunity for that guy, no matter what, injured or not, unless he doesn't play. I don't love that bet myself, but
it's a stay away. That was what I came to. It's got to check all the boxes, and if it just one box, I lay off of it.
And Rantanen's getting a lot of the opportunities he had, right? Like Rantanen's the guy now.
Yeah,
Rantanen is the driver of that team.
Yeah. Prez, I know you're disappointed. The Leafs are out of it. I am heartbroken that our guy Hellebuck can't keep cashing unders anymore. 11 out of 12.
And we didn't discuss that game. Andy, did you know what went down with Mark Scheifele?
No.
Oh my God! So game 6. Saturday, Mark Scheifele wakes up in the morning to find out that his dad died unexpectedly.
Oh, I did know about this.
Unexpectedly, which makes it way worse because it was unexpected. Still ends up playing, gets the goal, then takes the penalty, goes into the penalty box, and Matthew just got kicked out. Dan, can you handle Matthew, please? Anyway, goes into the penalty box and they score on that power play. And he broke down, dude. And it was actually a beautiful, heartwarming, touching moment, especially to watch all of the Dallas players like Seguin and whatnot hug him and hold him. It was actually one of the most beautiful moments. I was choked up. Like I was like, as I think Mike Myers would say, I was verklempt. So it was
Yeah.
an incredible moment, Matthew, don't you think?
Yeah, first of all, I have no clue what verklempt meant. I've never heard it, but that's a good one. See,
That's from Coffee Talk when we were
li-
young on Saturday Night Live. Coffee Talk.
no, I don't remember.
Well,
Um,
Matt, here's another one for you. Did you hear why the co-main event got canceled at the UFC event? The fighter
no,
he tested positive for herpes. They had to pull the fight at the last
no,
second live on the broadcast. Yes, there's
please.
a real thing
I
that happened.
They
I just
test for herpes?
Medically uncleared. Yes.
wow. Just tell me he's not married.
Well, he may not be anymore, Matthew. Let me do a couple of props here for you guys, and I'll get out of here. I'm going back to Taylor Hall over 1.5 shots on goal. He's gone over in 5 out of the last 6 games. Love his shot attempts. He's at 4.8 attempts in his last 6 games, getting 3 shots on goal. And we did really great on Hellebuck under his saves. And I'm going to go to Frederick Anderson under 23.5 saves. Under in 6 straight games. He's only averaging 20 saves in the playoffs, and he's gone under in 3 straight games against Florida. I mentioned the Jason Robertson, but again, it's going to be a pass. It's got to check all the boxes. So Taylor Hall over his shots, Frederick Anderson under his saves. Those are a couple props for you guys.
Andy Lang, everyone. Andy, when I'm on Wager Talk today, tomorrow, I'm on Tuesday's show. Feel free to ask me what I think is the most important way to build your bankroll. Andy Lang, everyone. Get out of here, my brother. Matthew, Edmonton plus 230 to win it all. Florida plus 240. Dallas plus 275. And Carolina plus 330. Now, it's give or take 10, depending on what book you want there. Clearly, Edmonton, Florida, and Dallas are in the same zone, and Carolina is the outlier. What bet there provides you with the most value? And then I'll tell you why no one should make any of those bets.
Yeah, I at those numbers I probably wouldn't. It's not good enough. I can bet the series or games and have a much better chance of being profitable. So I wouldn't touch it. Dallas to me is the best team left. So if you were going to make that bet, Dallas, but I'd be laying off and just going game by game or series for this one if you believe Dallas or whoever. Just go on the series. You'll make more money there. There's not enough value.
Yeah, so let me explain this to you guys because a lot of amateur bettors like to bet these series prices, and it really makes absolutely no sense when you get later on in the series. If you have an opportunity to take a team at the start of the playoffs at plus 1,300 or plus 1,600, those are bets that are acceptable to make. But if you look at any one of these 4 teams, and let's just take the Dallas Stars, they are plus 275 to win the cup. Let's give them 25 and say they are plus 300 to win. So that means if you bet $100 and they win the cup, you win $300. They are plus 100 against Edmonton. So if you bet $100 and they beat Edmonton, you're at $200. If you then take that and you bet them to beat, say, Florida or Carolina in the cup, they're going to be around plus 100 again. You win that bet, it's $400. So you make an extra $100 by betting the first series and rolling all that money over to the cup finals than you would taking them now. There is never a bet to be made future-wise when you get down to the final 4 teams, unless one of them is a hardcore dog in the 600 mark. So that's sort of why you should not be making a future bet at this particular moment. Anything to add there, Matthew?
Yeah, well, just anyone listening and that is betting have multiple books. The margins are tight as it is.
Yeah.
So if you can get a plus, an extra 5 or plus 10, whatever it may be, and the lines move because people are taking them. So who's betting on FanDuel might be different than who's betting on Bet365 or Bet99, whatever it may be. The lines are always a little different. They're in the same range, but they're always a little different. So if you are betting and trying to make money and grow your bankroll, have multiple books and take the best number available.
There we go. Matthew Barnaby, Lawrence Presman. That's the blue line. What a show. Thank you for watching, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel, WagerTalk TV. Write reviews. Matthew, do not hang up. Organize your X with Dan Alexander, please, so we can live stream on your account. Other than that, what an incredible, fun show. Screw the Leafs. And let's enjoy the conference finals. Guys, until Wednesday, please do not bet like an idiot.